Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 758 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, on this icy February morn. September, as we call it here in Austin.
Nope.
It's a little. Oh, wait.
Icy in Austin. I'm coming the next week. If it's not warm, I'm gonna.
Schools are canceled, Ben. We've canceled schools.
What?
School's canceled.
It's ridiculous. It was 85 degrees like 2 days ago.
Bro, Tuesday it was 85, and then now there's no school today. Weather here is sort of nuts.
It's turning around though.
It's gonna get better.
Yeah,
it's gonna get better. Okay, so Ben's here, JD's here, that other voice you hear, the Reverend Father John Kozak is here. We got plenty to talk about today in the international front. That's why he's here. He's our international correspondent.
Oh my goodness.
But Ben, why don't we start with Smart Alec Ben, Sarcastic Ben Askren.
There's a little bit of some truth in there, of course.
What'd you say?
Said there was some truth in there.
Yeah. Let's talk about let's start with a question from a friend, Wick Jacoby, who will not let go of the fact that he thinks I hate Missouri wrestling. But he asked an actual very important question, if we can pull it in. And you wanted to start with it. I think it's appropriate.
Yeah. No, he's a nice guy. He knows you hate Missouri. He's on my team. I like that. I appreciate that. He said something to the effect of his 7-year-old wants to go practice 3 days a week and wants to wrestle in a tournament every single weekend. Why shouldn't I let him? And I think the answer to me is obvious. But I deal with this age kids. Like, this is what I do every single night. You know, I mean, I literally go to the academy and I coach kids of all ages, all the way from 5 years old all the way up to 18, right? And I see what I want this process to look like all the way from 5 up to 18, and then ideally, what is the most effective way? Because I'm not going to let my biases affect my productivity. If my productivity can be higher, I'm going to change my thought process. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a kid at 7 years old, like if you let him go, sure, he'll probably get better, right? But there's the obvious of, like, at some point you're going to get sick of this. I don't know what point that is, but you are, right? So, Christian, if you had a kid who was 7 and really like wrestling matches, everyone can admit that if we let him wrestle 100 in a year, he'd probably get sick of it, right? And if it's not 100, then 200. At some point, he's going to say, I'm out. I'm done with this, you know?
There is a point.
And
that's indisputable. Yeah, there's indisputably a point where they'd be like, all right, this is too much. Too much,
right? And so, you know, if we don't let them go all the way at 7, like, what's the harm? The harm is they don't get good enough fast enough. Like, they're not good enough by 8. They're not good enough by 9. Like, literally, who cares? I mean, my daughter's 9, and she had her very first matches this year. And, you know, and this is kind of like going deeper. Is like, me as a parent, I will be indisputably benefited if my daughter loves wrestling, because I'm going to be at the wrestling academy every day. It's what I do. And so I'll get to see her significantly more, and I'll get to be a part of her journey through wrestling. So I have a huge bias in wanting my daughter to like wrestling. Okay. And so I started her at 9 because I didn't want to start her early. And, you know, she's going to wrestle a couple more matches this year, and she kind of likes it a little bit. And so, but it's like, I don't care how good she is at 10 or 11 or 12. I just want her to enjoy it and want her to keep going. And this is what one of my managers made he made the realization the other day. It's like, well, if we just keep them around long enough, we just keep coming to practice, they're going to be good. We have not had a kid who just keeps coming to practice and doesn't get really damn good. And that's what a lot of these clubs don't figure out. They want to freaking make them badass by 12, and then 70% of their freaking club quits, and they can't figure it out. And it's like, if we just keep these dudes coming back to practice, they're going to get good over the course of time. If that's all we do is get them to enjoy it and they come back. And I said, get them to enjoy it doesn't mean playing games every single day. It means purposeful, but it also means not grinding them and telling them they're little babies and they got to keep going. That type of stuff that you see all the time.
So let's dissect it a little bit, because there's two things he brought up. He said he practices 3 days a week, and then he says he competes all the time. To me, yes. I hear practicing 3 days a week, and I think that sounds completely fine to me. Would you say that's fine?
So we do our ninjas 9 and under, and we let if they're good and they're 9, we do let them move up. Like my daughter's 9, she stayed in ninjas because I don't know, she's not that good yet and she's not super into it, right? No, 3 practices and an hour and a half of focused attention. It's hard for the 9-year-olds. It really is. for most of them. And then I got some good ones. I got a couple that won state last year. It's like they do a good job, but it's still pretty hard for them, right? And I got to play a game once in a while to ease it and that type of stuff. By the time they're 13, 12, 13, 14, that's not an hour and a half, 3 times a week is not hard for them. Like they can lock in, they can do the practice. They want to be goofy sometimes, but they can handle it for sure.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a big difference
I don't
there.
know.
And
sure. I guess. Well, we did the club I go to is 3 days a week, and there's young kids, but they just do an hour for the younger kids. What would be the equivalent for your ninjas? Good. By the way, I had to help out in that class on Monday. Oh my gosh, I got tech fault. It's chaos. It is chaos. It's just like you're with this group over here, and then as soon as you turn your back on the other group, it's like, oh no, these guys got to help these guys. This person's over here. He's playing with the fire extinguisher. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
But that was the younger group, and but they only go for an hour, which I think it's like the exact amount of time, and then they play around on the mats afterwards. I think that's about right.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, and there's a really deep issue that I don't even want to go into, but F it, let's do it, right? That's what we're here for. There's some kids. This is gonna be some deep shit, Christian. There's some kids who, when they're having success in wrestling, they feel the most love from their parents. Like that is the time when their parents show them, and probably specifically dads, show them that they're proud of them and they love them. So therefore, that kid's like, shit, I don't feel this love very often. And when I'm winning wrestling tournaments, my dad gives me all the love. So I want to go do that more because I want to be loved by my parent, right? I mean, that's what the kid, they're not fully comprehending that. They couldn't say it in those words at age 7, 8, 9, but that's what they're thinking. I see it all the time. And so it's like, I have to, like, honestly, I'm so biased. I want my daughter to wrestle so bad, like not like right now, but like in the future, right? I want her to, like, that's what she does. So I have to, like, withhold myself from doing that because I don't want my daughter to, like, because they're, you know, they might, like I said, they might not say it, but I don't want her to be like, I feel more love when I'm wrestling, and that's why I want to wrestle. I don't want that to her. Like, I want to love my kids, whatever they want to do, right? Now, if they want to wrestle, I freaking love that. But I also want my kids to know that, like, unconditionally, you are loved by your father. I care about you no matter what, and I'm not going to show you more love when you do what I want, right? But there are parents. And listen, maybe the parents don't even have that, like, motivation in their head, but that's what happens. That's literally what happens is they show them love to the kids, like, that's what I want to do because that's when I feel love from a parent. And that's like, it's kind of sick and twisted when you think about it. So, you know, and I am not obviously accusing anyone of that, but I do see that happening for sure.
Yeah.
And that could be with other sports, not just wrestling, of course.
Oh, definitely in other sports as well. Give me a sense, Ben. There was a point in time where you wrestled every single day, and you could not be kept off the mat.
Yes.
What age was that? Was that like 6th, 7th?
So
grade?
okay, so my progression was when I was in 5th grade. I decided, and this is like I decided I want to do more wrestling. Right, I was 11, and I'm like, hey, I kind of want to be good at this. I kind of was like, nah, I didn't really like team sports, so I quit baseball. I really liked baseball at that point in time. Now I think it's boring. Did 3 months more wrestling. So at that point, I was wrestling like December through May or whatever, and I kept liking it more and more and more. But there literally wasn't opportunities. There was no club from July to November, right? So, you know, I wasn't doing it. In 9th grade, I'm like, dude, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. And so I had to figure it out. There still was no club, right? So it's like I had to go find people to come wrestle in my basement, or Max wouldn't really wrestle me at that time. So I had to find other people. And so, you know, I'm 14, probably going on 15 years old when I make this decision. Like, that's super mature. And so, you know, a kid that's 7 and 14 are so different. I actually had this, I did a kind of a mental Monday about, you know, splitting groups by age. And you know, so this fall at AWA, we had a 5-year-old group, a 6 and 7-year-old group, an 8 and 9-year-old group, 10 through 12, 12 through 14, and then 2 high school groups, 7 different groups. And like, to see, it's so easy to see the maturity difference between the kids, between the 5-year-olds and 6, 7s. It's like, oh my God, this is way different. 6, 7s, 8, 9s, you're like, holy man, this is crazy how different this is. Like, it's so easy to see the age discrepancies, you know. And is there some super mature 7-year-old that can go with 8 and 9s? Yeah, once in a while, you know. But like, would I put a 7-year-old with the 13 and 14-year-olds? Hell no. There's no freaking way. Because what I'm asking the 13 and 14-year-olds to do and stay focused and work hard, I don't really need a 7-year-old to do that. And if I have him do that over and over and over again, yeah, sure, he's going to get good. but there's probably a decent chance he's also going to hate it. And again, I don't care if he's good at age 8 or 9 or 10. We've had enough kids. Connor Thorpe started wrestling 7th grade. He's D1. Liam Hughes never qualified for the state tournament. He's wrestling D1. I mean, like, kids that weren't good, they get good. If they want to be good in high school, they're going to be good in high school, and they're going to do it on their own. Something's going to click, and they're going to say, I want to flip and do this. And they're going to start coming to practice every single day, and they're going to start working really hard, and they're going to be good. And my job is to provide an environment in which they can do that.
Ben, I'd like to hear, Ben, how you talk to parents about this, because I feel like the kids necessarily aren't the problem. It's the parents.
Absolutely.
So has there been an example of, a parent just didn't get it and something that happened or something?
His name.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and there's been with my specific location, there was one really problem parent, and yeah, I don't want to go into it. I don't want to air his dirty business, but most of the parents they get it now, and now we're 10 years in. We have 149 high school state qualifiers. We had 21 state champions last year. We sent 32 kids to college. Like, they can't really argue. The process works. I mean, I literally I'll tell you, here's a great one. I had a 6-year-old come in the other day to my 6- and 7-year-old class, and we do warm up, we do a few moves, we play around, we wrestle live for maybe 3 minutes, I don't know, whatever, right? Put them in a couple situations. And I don't want to give all the clubs this, but we have this auto message that goes out first time someone visits. Hey, how was your experience, essentially, right? At AWA. And the guy's like, hey, I really wanted my kid to, first during the practice, he asked me about private lessons. I said, listen, man, I'm not doing private lessons. No one's doing private lessons. 6-year-old, that's a waste of your money. I want to save you money. I don't want to waste your money. That's dumb. Don't do it. Okay. Anyone who tells you it just wants your money. They don't actually care about your kid's long-term success. They just want your money. That's it. So he says in the message, he says something like, well, we were really looking for someone who could push him or challenge him. And I said, hey, listen, that's not what we're all about. Here's our track record. If you want a refund, we're willing to give you a refund. But if you don't want to see things our way, sorry, see ya. And actually, I don't know if he didn't ask for a refund, but he never came back. So I don't know what his deal is.
Yeah, I see it too. These dang dads.
But most of them in our club are great. We have a really good group right now of like 9, 10, 11s, and the dads are really into it. And whenever I talked to them last night about something, and they're awesome. Like, they're like, yeah, okay, we get it, we appreciate it, thanks, man. Like, they're really great. So we're in a situation where we have a lot of good parents. I know not everyone's in that situation.
Think of the level. The difficulty is the level of credibility you have to. I don't even know if it's credibility. Maybe it is to get that flip with the parents and that buy-in.
Real,
because think about 10 years ago. All you was a 2-time Hodge Award winner and a freaking Olympian, and you didn't have the quote credibility to convince a lot of parents probably that this was actually a smart way to go about it. So think about, every other club in America that's not run by business. I mean, there's we can name on probably one hand the elite clubs in America, maybe 2. But there's thousands of other clubs that are just run by, just wrestling coaches and wrestling dads and people. And it's like, and maybe they want to implement it this way, but the dichotomy is if you start implementing it that way and you don't have the success, and then the parents are gone, and then you don't have a club. It's like you can't get that.
Correct.
How do you get that going?
So hard. And the problem. I mean, if you're not explicitly saying it, the problem is there's a lot of things I can do, and because I start like, I don't want to say caring about success, because I never fully, like, that's not my main focus. If we do everything else right, we're gonna have the success. But let's say like at age 12 is when I start like, say, buckling down more on the kids. Hey, you're not working hard enough. You need to pay more attention. There wasn't great effort in the match. Like, these type of things, right? Where I really start kind of like buckling down on them. But prior to that, I don't really care about their success. I want them to enjoy it. If they're really being a nuisance in practice, I'll say, hey, you need to not be a nuisance. And if you can't handle it, then you got to go. I'm sorry. Like, we're not going to have that in here. But yes, you can make a 7 or 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 good. You can make them good really easy. You can have them cut weight. You can do a lot of live. You can have them drill really hard. You can grind them really aggressively. You can do that. And so then other parents they don't understand the whole vision of the whole process, right? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I want Keegan O'Toole and Mitchell Messenbrink and Aiden Sinclair and all these other guys. I want them to compete for Olympic teams. That's my goal. I want them to wrestle till they're 30 years old like Kyle Dake and David Taylor. That's my goal. That's my goal, right? Yeah. So I don't need them to be good at age 11. I don't need it. I don't care. Okay? Yeah. But I can make them good at that age if I wanted to, as a detriment to their long-term success. But so parents don't understand the longevity of this process. They see the 8 or 9 or 10-year-old in the next club over being good, and they're like, oh, well, what's Johnny doing? What's whatever doing? And to go back to the earlier point about parents showing the most love, and this is I'll give you another sad one, is for whatever reason, when a kid has success, other parents, like, I don't know, they look up to or they pat the dad on the back of the kid who's having success. And so that dad feels pride in that, right? Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, there's a lot of dads who there's not a lot else they feel pride in. Maybe they're struggling in their marriage and they don't have a great job and they feel kind of shitty about the rest of their life, but their little kid's a badass. And everyone at the tournaments coming out and say, oh, man, Johnny's so good. What are you doing with him? And they're beaming with pride, which, man, it's sad because, right, it sucks that you're living through the kid. And I'm sorry that the life you wanted didn't pan out for yourself. And this is your main point of pride, but you can't make the kid do anything.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying there? Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
It's just, it's actually sort of tough to like, it's all very well said. So it's like, all right, well, what's my, what do I even add? What could I add to that? Right. It's just true.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I don't want to, Israel Thomas and don't demonize parents. And I'm not trying to demonize. I'm talking about human nature. Like it sucks. Like, the parent who doesn't have a good job and has a rocky marriage and their source of pride and joy is their kid. Like, it sucks. That sucks, right? I mean, like, if I had enough time, if I had infinite time, I'd love to go help that parent have a better life also. But I can't. It's not my job. I don't have time, right? I would love to help them find joy and passion in whatever they're doing so their kid isn't their source of joy and passion. So, I mean, it's like, I'm not trying to demonize them. I'm just acknowledging what is actually happening, or the parent that shows the kid the most love when they do well at wrestling or whatever sport, because that's what they want the kid to do. It's like, it sucks, but I'm not trying to demonize them. I'm just saying that's how it goes.
Yeah. Logan Stevers talked a lot about this, just like the damage that he's seen. I interviewed with him after he retired, and just like, and why he's starting a club. And I think you guys would probably be pretty like-minded in a lot of stuff. And he talks so much about the relationships between wrestlers and dads and how many he saw ruined coming up. And he's like, I had a hard dad. A dad was really hard on me, and we made it. For whatever reason, me and Hunter could just handle it, and we're great. But like, he said, I saw so many kids just like totally fractured relationships and like totally sold out for success in high school, and then nothing happened when they went to college. And then on the other side of it, they have like completely fractured relationships with each other. And so like, I think no one probably realizes that that's an option, because when your kid is your kid. No,
that's an option. Oh, can I just interject one quick? I literally say this to parents. I say, if you drive them too hard, and I actually say, like, once they get the 13, 14, let me be the bad guy. Let me be the asshole. You pick them up, right? I'm going to say the mean things that need to be said, like, your effort was crap. That was unacceptable. Let's go. You don't need to say it. I'll say it. Let me say it. So I would say, if you drive them too hard, you're going to get one of two things, both of which are undesirable. Number one, they hate wrestling. And they see wrestling as a villain, which is probably actually the better option. And the number two option is they hate you, right? And then there could be some combination of both. Like, that's literally what happens most of the time.
Well, yeah, and my point was, like, I don't know if many parents even realize that that's an option that you could, by the time your kid's 16, 17, 18, or maybe even college age, it's like, man, that relationship's severed in a permanent way or damaged in a way that's close to irreparable. Like, you're not thinking about that probably in the moment that's even an option. It's like, my kid will always be my kid, and we'll always have this relationship, but it's like, it's going to change, and they're going to become more independent, and you could be on the other side of that, of parenting, and with sort of nothing.
Well, especially when, again, this is why I say, I want the kids to be there for them. I want them to love it for them. And they come in and work hard. I don't got to grind them and tell them, let's go. I mean, some days maybe, but not a lot. Because if the parent at, a 15-year-old boy, which is, it's getting close to a man at that point, if he's saying, you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and the kid doesn't actually want to do that. And they're at that point, they're starting to think of themselves as an independent, like you said, as a man. And if they're going to feel such a sense of resentment that they don't want to do it, and they're being forced to do that, right? And that resentment just builds and builds and builds, and it spills out in a lot of different ways, all of which are probably not good.
Do you think there's a point, all right, on the other side of the coin, and maybe this is not even wrestling, maybe we're just talking about parenting and athletics or whatever, but like there is a point where parents do need to push their kids, and I think that
absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so where does that come in with sports, with athletics, with wrestling?
Yeah, so I mean, I'll just tell you my contract with my daughter, because she's the oldest, right? I said, listen, you're going to do a few sports. At age 10, I'm going to let you, start picking more. You're going to have more say of what you want to do sport-wise, but you are going to do athletics because I think it's important. But you're going to get to pick more once you get to be 10. And, so the first time, she's done 3 tournaments. The first one, it was like a deer in the headlights. I don't think she scored any points. And she said, yeah, that wasn't very fun. I said, listen, in life, obviously we can always do the fun thing, but it's probably more important to do the thing that's going to benefit us the most long term. And a lot of people struggle with that, especially like teenagers, right? Teenagers always want to do the fun thing. What's the Jordan Peterson chapter number 2 in his book? Help me real quick. Hold on, I'll look it up fast. Okay. Yeah. So I say, it's more important that we do what's going to benefit us long term. So you're going to wrestle in a few more matches, and at age 10, if you want to choose to do something else, you're going to get to choose to do something else. So that's kind of where I took it with her. But I'll tell you, from our teenagers, this is like Brian O'Toole. Oh my gosh, it's not number 2. It's hold on, I'm going to find it for you. It's a really good rule. It is rule number 7. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. That's a really good one.
Yeah.
So I use that with her. But like I say, a Brian O'Toole or a Mike Roshko, and I've had a lot of really good parents. So I've been, I don't say lucky, or maybe because I built a good relationship, one of those ways. But like twice a year, if the effort was subpar, they'd chew their kid's ass, and like that was crap. You didn't give good effort. And then they'd let me do let me or Coach Masmink do everything else. And so it's like, great, that's what I need. Like, I don't need you here every day. I don't need you every 2 months, but you need to let your kid know that there are standards, and that's great, right? But they're probably also, and this is where we say kind of some of those dads who are a little too hardcore early, but sometimes those dads are living a really a life with high standards, right? They're working hard. They're modeling that behavior. The kid sees the dad working hard, and they understand that that's the expectation. As I grow up, this is what I will do, right? And that the behavior is being modeled. So that's important too, that stuff's being seen at home, right? That the dad and mom aren't being lazy and doing nothing, right? They're healthy, they're in shape, they're taking care of themselves. All those kind of things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
JD or Kozak, anything to add?
I mean, I think I'm a newer parent. My oldest is 7, and so I think before I had kids, I thought, whatever, like this is gonna be easy. But parenting can be really, really challenging. Not only just because like you're trying to raise another person that doesn't always do what you want them to do, but then every kid that you have is very different and motivated in like very, very different ways. So the challenge of getting to know like that individual it takes time. And so like my oldest and my middle daughter are very different, and they're motivated by very different things. So I can't parent my oldest the same way that I parent my middle daughter. So I just think being a parent is really challenging. And then when you introduce a sport like wrestling into that equation, you have to be very wise in how you parent and how you treat that situation. So I think a lot of what you're saying, Ben, is really good.
Awesome. Yeah, and I agree with that. The kids, my kids are so different also, for sure.
I just got the 2. JD
Andy just rolls over and gets pinned at every
childless
practice,
JD.
and I'm like, what am I going to do with Andy? Because literally she'll just. So I have started telling her, like, you need to try harder in practice, so there's going to be consequences, because I at least need you like doing things. I don't need you winning. I don't really care, but like you can't just literally lay on your back. Like she'll literally, when we do the live goes, she'll literally just lay down. Like, oh God, Andy.
She's pulling guard, Ben.
But not, she hasn't even put a guard in, Christian. She just lays there like a corpse, like a corpse. Okay. You can't be a corpse.
Yeah,
you got to have a little bit of effort. Andy's 6.
Okay. Well, yeah. Listen, that happens. It happens.
Yeah. Just
JD, what was your youth wrestling experience like? You're kind of a wrestling lifer, right?
Yeah. It was good.
It was good. It's good. Let's talk about the damage done. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Ben, this has been good. Good start to the show.
Awesome.
Thank you, Wick Jacoby.
Yes.
I like Missouri.
But now I answered his first question, so you got to answer his second question.
Well, here's the thing. The person who here's my rule, and this is always true. The people that accuse me of being a Penn State homer are almost always Iowa fans, and all the people that accuse me of being an Iowa homer are Penn State fans, and the people accuse me of being a Missouri hater, this guy's a Missouri fan. So the bias is always with the accuser, not the person being accused. So
that's exactly what someone with a bias would say.
Dang it, that is true. But it's also true. I don't have anything against Missouri. They're going to have tougher seeds this year, so I won't have anything to complain about. And listen, this is outside of Ben Askren. Ben Askren could never be on the show once. I would be happy and excitedly driving the Keegan O'Toole hype train all the way to the frickin' Ben. Love watching Keegan for years, and I guess that has nothing to do with Ben. So, and I believe he's out at Missouri. Also, Ben is on this show, and Ben is, as everyone knows,
I'm not very pro Missouri.
Yeah, he's not very pro Missouri, but yeah, he was for a time. Okay,
I was.
Well, sure. I think so. I think so.
I'm teasing. I still love Missouri. I mean, I haven't been there. I haven't lived there in 13 years now? 13 years, I think. It's a great place to go. It's a great place.
I've never been to Columbia. We're looking for we're trying to find some pictures. So we're going to this new fancy HQ. So we're trying to find some. I
want to see it.
You got it.
I'm there next week, and you guys aren't even having me there because you think I'm gonna like make it dirty or something.
Well, that is part of it, but also Bader could take you. You could absolutely go. So don't
really.
So yeah, make sure Bader shows you, then you can go get tacos right there on Congress. Very nice. But anyway, they asked us to get some pictures, like nice high quality pictures. They're gonna do some stuff, and it's gonna look really cool in there. So I was looking for some. I was like, well, we need people from they're kind of around Flo, but like so I was looking through some old Missouri pictures of you from NCAAs from like 2007.
Nice.
I think one of you against actually Ludke is gonna make it in there.
Nice. I mean, that's like the beginning of Flo. That's like very, very first days. I want to say like December my senior year or something. We would have had you guys would have had so much fun with Missouri at that point in time. If you guys would have actually like been like what you are now, we would have had a great time.
I know, but still, we've got more than the year before for everything, so we've got a lot.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they were there for some of it. Okay. So, kind of a seamless transition. Iowa's wrestling facility looking pretty nice. A tweet came out. I don't know if Tyler can pull this in, but it looks other than the spirits that are maybe occupying its halls in these pictures.
But
other than that,
a lot of money to raise, bro.
It's a lot of paper, but it's gonna be state of the art. They're gonna come through with the money, I'm sure. It's gonna happen.
They said They said it's already there. They said it already raised 25 or 26 or something like that.
Well, there it is. It is. So the hope is, I think we said, and I said, Chad Beatty said in his interview that the hope is it'll be ready for the first women's season. So,
which is one more season away.
Yeah, so not next year, but the year after.
Wait, so what is someone like, say, Kylie Walker doing? Because she's a senior, so is she gonna go live there and there's not gonna be a team, or it'll be like an RTC, or what it'll be next year?
I don't know what her plans are, but as we've seen with D1 wrestling, there's lots of ways to mitigate losing your eligibility. She could do a gap year. She could do OTC. She could.
Well, I'm thinking, will they actually have? So I mean, Clarissa Chun's in Iowa. We saw her; she was there. I've seen her in many pictures. So is she gonna have like, would it be a club team? Like, what is gonna be the thing? You don't know.
I don't know.
Okay,
I do not.
Good question.
Yes.
I assume it'll
Kyle,
just be
I
like
thought you knew
Hawkeye
everything.
Wrestling Club.
Yeah, I know a little. Leonard Skinner. Okay, so that's cool, and it's Yasar Dogu time. That's how we say it on this show. Okay, I don't.
Yeah, don't be getting fancy with
Don't. Bader will
like
sometimes get fancy. Spay is the king of the fancy pronunciation.
Even Mike with this one.
Yeah, Mike. Oh, he loves to sound so learned. These international travelers. It's Yasar
Bader
Dogu.
used to never be fancy. You guys messed him up.
No, we didn't do this. He's a very cultured man. So Kozak's here to talk about it. Why don't you give us the highlights? What American wrestling fans can be excited about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're sending a bunch of men and women. The women start tomorrow, and then they go through Sunday. So this is the first ranking series event. So for people that don't know about international wrestling, different events can earn seeding points towards the World Championships at the end of the year. Now they're now seeding up to 8 wrestlers. So
that's awesome. P.S. I don't think we ever talked about that.
Yeah, it's really good, and they've actually changed the rankings points too, which we don't have to get into a ton, but you can earn like 8,000 to 10,000 points for rankings, whereas you used to be able to earn only like 25 or 50. So they're trying to I think create more
8,000 versus 25.
Yeah, they changed.
So I mean, there's got to be a different scale or something.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They changed the scoring scale because they're seeding more, so I think they don't want any ties. So like they are basically making more like points you can earn. So I don't know. It's
so
not that interesting.
In comparison, from a percentage basis, previously the world scored how many points compared to ranking series, and currently the world score how many points compared to ranking series.
Yeah, it's so. I understand the question. So like. It used to be if you won Worlds, I think you got like 50 points, something like that. And now if you win Worlds or Olympics, you get like 50,000. So they just multiplied it by whatever, 1,000.
Okay. Inflation is everywhere, guys.
So it's similar.
Kind of. There's more nuance to it than just simply that. Like if there's a certain amount of competitors in a bracket, you get an extra like 5,000 points. So it's a little bit nuanced.
Seeding to 8 should at the very least not make like these outliers where they're like somehow unseeded, and then you have the real number 1 guy floating around somewhere placed randomly in the bracket. So, like, I think maybe you don't get the exact 1 through 8 seeds, but you're going to be somewhere close, right?
Should hopefully not get the Yazdani Taylor first round types of situations.
I think, too, what they've done, like with somebody like Yazdani or with David Taylor, who's already won the Olympics, the previous year, he gets all those points to start. So yeah, Tyler's got it up on the board. So there's the level A, level B, level C tournaments. So all that means level C would be like the Yasar Dogu. It's a rankings tournament. Whereas level B would be a continental, so Pan Am's. Yeah, and
look at this chart. It goes down to 13 points. You get 8,000 at the top and 13 on bottom. Like.
Yeah.
What in God's green earth?
So I think the reason why they're doing that is they don't want ties. So for instance, if you have 7th and 8th place, and somebody's got 13 or 25, it lowers the chances that there's going to be a tie at those 6, 7, 8 spots. And they award seeding all the way up to 16, where they used to only award it, I think, up to like 8 or 10. So this is not super interesting, but it will be important as we get closer to, world championships and the continentals and stuff. But to actually talk about the wrestling that's going to go down this weekend, we're sending a pretty good squad. Maybe just some of the highlights. Like 65 kilograms is going to be really, really good. Joey McKenna is USA's rep there, but there's 7 of the top 20 ranked wrestlers at 65 kg. Russia is sending 2 of their best young guys who might take the spot this year, or at least will challenge Rashidov. So Shakiev from Russia, and then Mamedov, also from Russia.
I thought the Albaskazi guy was going to go up to 65 and take all the spots.
So he's still at 61 right now. He just won Urigan at 61. Mamedov won Urigan at 65. Shakiev won 2021 Worlds at 65. So they've kind of got 2-3 guys who can really challenge. So yeah, you can see USA roster on the screen now. 70 is really good just from a United States perspective.
You didn't mention Bajrang time at 65.
Yeah, Bajrang and Musakayev.
What about Musakayev?
Yeah, Bajrang and Musakayev.
Have they ever wrestled? Because the gas tank discrepancy is incredible there.
He would fall over.
Y'all remember Yasar Dogu was when Yanni was down by 9 points and then killed Musakayev.
Man,
Yeah,
what a treasure that guy is.
right.
Seriously.
So 65 is going to be, whoever comes out on top of there is going to be going to go through it for sure. 70 kilograms is really good with James Green, Jordan Oliver, and then there's Akhmed Aliyev, who won world silver last year. He's in that bracket. Amir Yazdani won world silver at 65. He's up at 70. So from an American's perspective, that's
a lot of competition.
that'll be really good.
Is that Ernie?
That's Ernie. Yeah,
we love Ernie.
He has a FloWrestling T-shirt. He's best friends with Andrew Spey.
Yes. We like Akhmed Aliyev.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably win. He'll be favored to win this, I would imagine.
Yeah, he should. He's pretty good. And then I don't know what else. Any other entries stand out to you guys?
79.
79. Jordan Burroughs.
Sabalov, probably.
Yeah, so he'll have Sabalov in the bracket, and they met at 2017 Worlds, the 2017 World Finals, where Jordan won. That was at 74. So yeah, there's a ton of good top foreigners. Mohammedian's back in the mix at 97, and Russia's sending Zabrailov, so they could meet up. That could be a fun match. I think pretty highly of Zabrailov.
No more.
I see. I'm in the doc. This guy beat Gable twice, and then Pop. We know all the Russians are using. And then he pops. He's been out for 2 years or what?
Yeah. So Rakimov, I think he's from Uzbekistan actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, he beat Gable back at Junior Worlds, where
He
Gable,
threw him, right?
Yeah, Gable kept going upper body. I think I have the clip in there. If you have it, Tyler, you can play that. But yeah, Gable kept going. He kept going upper body with him. And the first time,
Oh my gosh, look at Gable.
yeah, Gable looks so young here.
Puppy.
So yeah, the first time Gable got away with it and he got a takedown, but then the next time he went to an inside trip, and it was like just what Rakimov wanted him to do, and he tossed him and pinned him.
Yeah.
Dang.
I remember watching this at my kitchen table. Upset.
Really?
Yeah, I remember vividly watching this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was weird seeing him lose. But so
Yeah.
this guy popped.
Yeah, so they ended up wrestling 2 years later or a year later at the Medved. It was Gable's first senior level tournament, and he actually teched Gable there.
Wow, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's hard.
After this, he
That's
teched
right.
Gable.
That's why Gable's not undefeated in international,
Yeah,
his senior level international career.
Well,
Right.
he also lost to Gwiz.
But I meant
yeah.
like foreigners.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pin's coming up here in just a second. We'll get to it, so you can keep it on the screen. But it was kind of a similar match. He kept forcing Gable to go upper body, and he tossed him for 4, I think twice maybe. So he's dangerous. But yeah, I think he may have gone to Worlds after that, and he popped there. So yeah, here we go. This is where he gets in some trouble.
Uh-oh.
Hips back. No.
Oh.
No. This guy's a lot bigger than Gable Dan.
Yeah, he's in a bad spot right here.
Yeah. How about that right leg just hanging up there? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, how much time has he fought off his back in his life?
Probably that.
Yeah, that's probably the extent of it.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like him and Snyder, when they get pinned, it's like, well, how many times have they even been on their backs?
Yeah, so it'll be good to see. It'll be good to see him. Taha Akul is going to be in the bracket as well at heavyweight, along with Gwiz. So he'll be tested for sure to see if he's on that same level. And sometimes what you see with these guys who who get popped, they have 2 years where they're not going to get tested.
Yeah.
Right. So then they just go like like when
That's
Mohammedian came back.
Yeah.
So maybe we're just going to see this guy just juice to the gills. But we'll see.
What? You should get tested the whole time you're suspended.
Yeah, that should be part of it. Like you get tested every month.
It's like, okay, then now it's lifetime ban, or you just keep adding on time.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what else you guys want to talk to.
I mean, the Horse Slayer's back.
The horse slayer. Horse slayer. Yeah. Yeah. So for people who don't know what we're talking about, Germany's like best wrestler. He took world bronze last year. He beat Mudaliev from Russia in bronze medal match. He's good.
He is good.
On the women's side of thing, Emma Brentill's wrestling again overseas. She went to Urigan. She won gold there. Then she went to Koloff. She won gold there. And now she's at Yasar Dogu.
Getting that mat time.
Yeah, and she's done really well. She beat Forrest Molinari. Jakara Winchester's entered too.
Down to 62 though now.
I don't think that's real.
I don't think that's right.
I think she's still up at 65.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not real. Don't even read that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, cool. Looking forward to that. When does it start? How do you watch, John?
You can watch live on FloWrestling.
Okay.
Starts tomorrow morning.
What a relief.
Tomorrow morning at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time. But the good news,
not waking up then.
The good news, medal matches start at I think at 10. So the first, so medal matches. What is this?
10:30. That's the schedule.
Okay, yeah, I was confused for a second.
It happens.
What's going on here?
That's local time.
Okay, yeah. This made me really confused.
So subtract 8 hours.
Okay. I don't know how to subtract.
You guys make people do math on Flow? That's a problem.
You know I can't do math.
We need the Mike Smith schedule. That's what we need.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
Hook it up. So, okay, cool. Well, we'll be look forward to following up Tuesday, talking about Yasar Dogu results and happenings, and hopefully a lot of Team USA great victories. Okay, and as we said, there's not a lot going on in wrestling this weekend on the college scene.
I think I might have a confession to make.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
I might... How surprised do you have to be to determine shocked?
Oh, okay.
No, do not. If you guys have Sparks come back on and debate shocked, I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Sparks is not coming on, but I might have been coerced into not being totally surprised if Iowa pulls this off.
Okay. Continue, sir.
Here's how I started to think about it. 125. Theoretically, they could score about the same number of points.
Yes.
Yes?
Okay.
33.
Sure.
RBY gets second to Dayton. DeSanto gets third.
Okay.
Just, maybe add in a tech fall or two for DeSanto. About
Right.
the same number of points.
Okay.
41.
Go on.
Jaden Ironman beats Nick Lee. Happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sure.
49.
Go keep
Max
going.
Marin should score more points than Bo Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
57. Caleb Young could score more points than Berge.
Yes.
65.
But hold on. So we're right now, just to keep our tally going, we're at a minimal positive difference for Iowa.
Yes.
Fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
65. Obviously, Iowa should score a lot more.
Probably they could score 15 more points than Penn State.
Yes.
That 15 would be. I'd be just surprised if Marinelli scores 15, but we'll go sure. So we'll say Iowa's up by, let's say,
I mean, if he
somewhere
got
between 15
third,
and
he
20
would
right now.
score probably 15.
I would be surprised.
You'd be surprised if he got third.
Yeah, listen, man. I don't know what it is because I never did the wrestlebacks. This man does not do wrestlebacks all that well. If we want to compare his NCAA wrestleback record to his regular record, it ain't the same thing. So yes, if he takes third, I'll be surprised.
Come on.
Christian, what's it? Tell me what his wrestleback record is. Tell me. Go do the math. I'll tell
I'm
you.
not even going off of that. I think he probably finishes like fourth or something. I'm just talking about that. I think Keegan,
Anyways,
Wick, Karchler are
more
just
between
better. But I'm not
fourth
surprised
and
if he gets
eighth.
third.
Sure. Let's go.
74, Kemmer could beat Strachey. Happened last year.
Nah,
84, there's no chance in hell that they score
And
more
that's a
points,
huge
barring
differential
injury.
Because I'd be so shocked if Basad All-Americans, and I would be surprised if Aaron Brooks is in the finals. So
But-
that's going to be a large differential.
It is equitable to 65 if Marinelli wrestles very well.
Yeah,
Not
that's
equitable.
fair.
I would say it's not. I would say.
Oh,
I'd say it is reasonable that they could be close.
Yes, could be close.
In differential, but it is very likely that 84 Penn State gets more production.
Correct.
Than the difference between Marinelli and Edsel.
Yes, I agree, but it could be close.
Comparable?
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
97, Dean they could finish one or two places away, basically scoring about the same number of points. And heavyweight, Cassiope is favored to score more points.
All right. Refute this, Ben.
I mean, but I think literally if all of those things happened, that's going all Iowa's way.
We're looking best case scenario,
Everything
yes.
goes Iowa. I'm literally shocked. Yes, I am shocked. If everything goes Iowa's way, I'm shocked because to Christian's point yesterday, the one he kept bringing up, when has Penn State ever underperformed NCAAs? And the answer is we don't have an example of that. So that happening in and of itself is shocking. That's what we're talking about. Yes, it's shocking. So if all those things, I mean, we're talking about. So given against
This
current
domino
rankings,
falls,
25
this domino falls. Yeah.
25 flipped, 41 flipped, 74 flipped, 97 flipped. So that's like 4 flips there. At the end of the season, when Penn State generally does better than their things, I'm shocked.
Yeah. What are the odds of 4 coin flips going your way?
Yes.
Heads. So 4 50-50 things, which I think 50-50.
It's not 50-50.
With a lot of these things
generous.
are not 50-50 propositions, probably even smaller. So I'm saying 50-50 is actually charitable for
It is, or else it would literally be 50-50, and we wouldn't be having this conversation that Penn State performs well at the end of the year.
Yeah.
the odds of heads 4 times in a row. I'm just Googling it. It's 1 in 16. That assumes that the coin is fair.
All right, Marinelli's current record in the wrestlebacks is 2-4.
2 and
my
4.
point.
Yeah,
Not very good. Not a good wrestleback record.
Yeah, I think.
I mean, Christian, how many losses did he have in his career? He probably literally has 4 non-NCAA wrestleback losses, and 3 of them are at the NCAA, 3 of them are at the NCAAs, right?
So
he doesn't have a lot of losses.
His wrestleback losses are Evan Wick, David McFadden, Chance Marsteller.
And then last year, medical forfeited, which, yes, I am counting that because you didn't show up. Sorry, you lost.
So I'll say he has 3 losses.
4.
Yeah, who beat him?
Himself. I heard he went and punched a wall or
Chamamine.
something as well. That's the
Chamamine.
rumor I heard.
Rumor.
Yeah, so his entire record has 11 losses. 11 losses. So 3 of those are on the front side of NCAAs. 4 of those are on the back side of NCAAs, which means only 4 of them are regular season losses.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's a different guy.
Or he doesn't wrestle. Maybe he just doesn't wrestle in the wrestlebacks. That would be my advice.
Well, I mean, that'd be ideal, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so shock jock JD Raider, less shocked. I'm gonna put pen to paper here over the weekend, and then Tuesday I'll prepare.
Christian's
and then
gonna put pen to paper.
Wednesday Shane will come back, and I'll either apologize or double down. One of the two will happen. But
I
like
said,
so,
I need
so
a
right now.
definition on shocked. How surprised do you have to be to warrant shocked?
so now this has become just a
semantics.
defining.
Define.
What does this mean?
I'm saying I haven't jumped off ship yet, but I'm looking over at the waters.
I mean, I would say it's 10%. Is it 10% chance they do this? If something happens, it's 10% chance. It's pretty unlikely. Like for example, what would be the Iowa would be plus what to win the NCAA team tournament?
Where would you bet on them? If I gave
What odds would I need
plus,
to bet on
plus
them?
300, which is 3-1, would you bet on them?
No
No way.
300. No way.
I would think about it.
You would think
That's significant.
Shock Jock would think about it.
That's significant. That's significant, guys.
I would take that money and buy more DeSanto sweatshirts. Actually, that's probably what I would do with that money instead of gambling.
Because I mean, and the other one I think you put. I mean, I would be shocked as how the season's panned. If Warner is that close to Beard, I'd be surprised on that.
You
one.
love calling Max Dean Beard.
Oh my gosh, I said Beard again.
You love it. You're
But I'm just
addicted
gonna say
to it.
Penn State's 97, so I can't mess it up.
Which is
I'm gonna say
funny
Penn
because
State's-
Ben was like a
Beard's not as good.
massive Michael Beard hater all last year, and
I
actually,
was.
you
I was
acted like-
realistic. I was
Oh, no,
realistic.
No. You said he was a fringe NCAA qualifier, and he got 7th.
He was. He took like 8th. What are you taking Big Tens? Let me find it.
He was not
Big
fringe.
Ten 2021 NCAA wrestling brackets. Hold on. Let me see. Big Ten brackets. Damn it, where are these Big Ten brackets, Christian? What did he take?
Just wrestle stat him, and you can see what he did. So his losses, he did lose to Lucas Davison and Cam Caffey. Those aren't great. He beat Panolo.
He took 6th place at Big Tens. I'm not wrong.
That's happened before. Guys get 6 at Big Tens and then place at.
But Lucas Davison wasn't ranked that high last year.
Yes, but he was. No, but people have had bad Big Tens.
Listen, I've had bad takes. That was not one of them.
No, it was bad. A bad take.
No,
Bad
it
take.
wasn't.
Oh yeah.
It was-
Oh yeah. Highly disappointing.
Christian.
Highly disappointing.
I'm about to fight you guys. Definitely. Want to
Let's go.
Let's see.
I don't want to fight Ben. I
Oh
don't
my
think.
gosh.
All right. Big
Oh,
hater.
you know why y'all American? Hold on. You know why y'all American? Now that I'm looking at this,
Oh, here we go. Why?
because freaking Pence upset Schultz second round, our first round, and then he beat Pence second round. That's why.
Well,
And he actually had a path to the semis because Woodley was a 25 and upset Rocky Elam.
I know.
Well, that was an absurd seed.
Jeez.
Yeah, we knew the Woodley
That was
seed was
absurd.
bad. Yeah,
bad.
upsets happen. He did what Eric Schultz
Yeah.
couldn't.
Sure, fair enough.
There we go. Beard hater. Is it because you can't grow a full beard? Can you not grow a beard?
my
Is that what
goodness.
this is? Is this deep seated?
Oh my goodness, guys! Listen, going into NCAAs, his best win was Panola, and it was 6-5. He had a win over Rabluski,
Okay.
Billy
You can't
Janzer,
go over.
Duran
You can't
Smith,
look into that.
David Hoffman, Andrew Salemi. No, I can't look into it. I bring up facts that I wasn't wrong on this one.
You
I was right.
You called it a guy that got 7th, a fringe qualifier, won.
He barely qualified. I think how many qualifiers were there in the Big Ten last year? I think if he lost one more match, he wasn't a qualifier.
He qualified.
He wasn't going to get a wild card. He was freaking like 5-5.
You can't use the stupid last year schedule as like, oh, he didn't beat anybody. It's like no one was allowed to wrestle.
No, but I'm saying if they
Just
have
saying that
6
'cause Bartlett didn't
qualifiers
qualify
and he
last year.
takes 8th,
Actually,
he
I'm
takes
not,
8th,
but that
he
is a
doesn't
great point.
qualify. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah, there
move
was
off
6.
this point.
There was
It's irrelevant.
6.
Allocations.
6 allocations.
See, there was only 6.
He got 6.
Shut up, Christian. Okay, to my earlier point, if Max Dean doesn't do better than Jacob Warner, I am kind of surprised. I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised.
Okay. Would Gwiz have won the Hodge in 2016 if he beat Snyder? Sorry, I'm going to FRL questions. It's a
there's a
very
pretty
good
good
question.
chance.
That's the year Ringer won.
So ring
That Zayn maybe should have won.
Zayn should have won. I don't know if he does. He
Really?
was a big pinner though.
Wiz was? I don't remember that.
He was putting the
I'm
heavy
gonna look it
Chevys
up.
down. Yes. He,
All right,
he
I'm
was,
looking it up. Ready?
he
See
had a
how
lot
big
of
his
pins.
percentage was. 2016, 70% bonus. Let's say the pins. 2016. Oh, let's see. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on, bro. 9. Come on. He didn't even hit double digits, Christian. This is a bad take.
So he had a lot of pins.
9. That's not double digits.
Okay, that year. The year before he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He had 15 the year before. That's a lot, in my opinion.
9 pins, 70% dominance, plus a win over world champion Kyle Snyder. And
He's a chance
the fact
to
that it was your third title, that's definitely enough because they gave it to Ringer that year.
Third, yeah.
What was Ringer's
Not
bonus that
Zayn.
year? It was barely better.
Yeah, let's look at Alex Dyringer. Oh, he's not in there. How does this happen?
What? Yes, he is. I found him. You must have spelled it wrong. He was 81% that year on bonus.
Higher bonus. How many falls did he have?
He said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 falls.
So not a lot more than.
Not a lot
Wiz.
more. So I
would
think
have-
Wiz probably would have won it by beating Snyder. I would say.
Yeah, that could have been it. Man, that's a good what if. I don't know who I would have voted for in that. Who would you have voted for? Who did you vote for?
I think I voted. I believe I voted for Zayn. I mean, that's a long time ago to remember. It was Zayn and Alex.
Yeah.
I want to say Zayn. I think maybe. What was Zayn's bonus that year? So if Alex was 80,
way higher. He was
it was
better.
way higher, 82?
Every criteria he was basically better other than
Past
career.
credentials.
'Cause that was his first title, correct or no?
More pins, more
2016, 88% bonus. And that was his first title.
and he also had more wins over All Americans, and he bonused a much higher percentage of All Americans that he faced compared to Alex.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 falls that year. So yeah, he was significantly higher.
Average Seed says, is Jack Del Garbino a myth, an angel, a ghost? Pins Cassiope for the upset of the year, then what? Has he wrestled since? So he's not their regular starter, but he'll always have Carver. He'll always have
that memory. He
Yes.
he reverse Carvered because usually Carver jinxes someone, but reverse jinx Jack Del Garbino.
Yeah. What would it take? This is from CJ Kemp. What would it take to get you and JD to wrestle in an open with Ben, Chael, and Sion as your coaches? It would require.
You know what? After yesterday, I really want CP and Sparks to wrestle. I think they're literally the same weight class. They're both like, we'll say, what do you guys like? 145, 150?
I'm like 52.
52.
I think Shane's
Sparks
a little
has got to
bigger
be
than
that
me.
size.
Really?
You think so?
He's
He's
probably
like-
a little bigger.
Yeah, I
He
bet
might have an inch.
Not
on
that
him.
much.
bet he's 65. He's like 6'2" with the hair. When he's got it really flopping up there, he really rides the wave. I don't think I'd probably beat Shane, although I am significantly younger than him, which you wouldn't really know by looking at him. But Shane has aged very well for a man in his mid-40s. So maybe I would have that advantage. Is Mark Bader starting to slow down a little bit? He's a little older than me. He's not as old as Shane, but maybe that would be.
Mark is what, 41 or something?
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah.
Masters coming up.
Masters is coming up. You can enter that?
I'm not old enough.
Yeah, you're like 22.
But you are.
What about Kozak? Well, I suck, though. I'm bad at wrestling. What about Kozak? Kozak was a beast. Him and LJ Helbig had some wars back in the Michigan days.
Yeah. I would wrestle in Masters, but not in like the U.S. Open. That's just silly.
Silly, it'd be live on
I feel
Flow.
like
All your
in
friends could
Masters
watch.
division, Christian, you could just like gas dudes out if you went hard, but then they'd be like, dude, that dude's a dick. Like I signed up to the veterans division to like come wrestle a little bit, and he's freaking going Tom Brands on me over here.
Absolutely no one
Unacceptable.
would think that you would wrestle at the veterans division because it's all a bunch of go-hards. Like, everyone's
No,
there.
it's
like,
not. There's no way.
oh, yeah.
They don't.
Oh,
Come on.
my gosh. Dude, they take it so
Are you kidding
seriously.
me?
They take it
They don't
so
just like
seriously.
shake hands and haha, we're old. Let's just wrestle and have some fun here.
At the end, when
I
they
never watched.
No, I've watched a lot. And my first year of Flow, they made me commentate like all the finals of veterans.
Really?
Yes.
There's a lot of divisions.
So
It's
many.
Like every 5 years.
I feel like it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
7 years.
Fun.
I called a guy that had to be 75 years old. He was
Stop.
so old. I got to find this dude. I was like, man.
Don't
what a
tell me
legend.
there's a limit. There's
I
a
don't
Veteran
even know
limit.
if he
This
spoke
isn't like.
English. He was like a Russian guy.
Oh my god.
Veteran Worlds is really fun to watch.
Oh.
It's like the guys go really hard for 30 seconds, and then they get so tired, and
Yeah.
one of them just gets pinned.
Yeah.
The older divisions, at least.
Going live with the Outlaws has not encouraged me to enter any tournaments ever because
Oh my
I was
gosh.
getting so tired.
Wrestling stuff.
I think it's some weakness from COVID recovery because I'm in pretty good shape and I was getting suspiciously tired. So I think I'm not fully
Wrestling's hard, Christian. I think you
cardiovascularly recovered. It's very hard. Okay. Any other questions stick out before we go on this Thursday?
forgot. Keith Gothard. Did you see what Keith Gothard just said in the chat?
What'd he say?
Oh, he wants to challenge Ferrari's dad.
Oh, I wouldn't do that, Mr.
The wrestling
Mr.
match.
Gothard.
That probably. Oh, he said he's gonna beat him by instant death. Oh God.
Oh my gosh. That's quite all right. That may be the
Oh.
path to victory.
Hey, you know what we never talked about on here?
What?
We never talked about that pin that went viral this weekend where that little kid was on his belly
Oh my
and the ref, I don't know if he wasn't paying attention or he was drunk or what was he called the pin? And then someone said that was the first ever incident pin because the dude was just on his belly and the ref slapped the mat. That was hilarious.
You could tell on the ref's face afterwards. He's like, "Wait, what did I just do?" And it was like, he couldn't undo. The best part was the kid
so
that
funny.
won just got up like, "Yep, stuck that dude." Got up,
Win to win.
shake my hand, bro. It's like I heard he slapped the mat. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh, so awesome.
At that point, you could have called the pin on anyone. And it would have been equally believable.
Think so?
Yeah,
The ref responded to that in the comments.
he did.
Yeah. He was like, if you had seen the whole video, they were on their back, or the kid was on his back. He was fighting off for a while, and he rolled over, and he goes, "I thought I was still looking at his shoulders."
Oh.
And he's like, it was, completely he did a hand up, my bad. But yeah, he admit. So respect to the ref for,
Shout out to him.
admitting his mistake.
This is the worst pin call we've ever seen.
It was, yeah,
but
it's pretty bad.
yeah, it's
Hilarious.
okay. Oh man, we gotta say, I don't know if we have the clip, but if you haven't watched the Groundbreakers episode 1 with Jordan Burroughs and Lee Kemp,
Haven't watched it. It's good.
you gotta
How long
watch
is
it. Really, how long? 35 minutes.
Oh man, I got time. I got time for that today. I'm going to high school state. Maybe next week.
You gonna take state? You watch it in the car.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that actually. Well, it's kind of dangerous, but we'll see.
Don't you have people that drive you around, Ben? In Wisconsin, you don't
I'm almost to that point, but not quite.
You need a driver. Okay. Well, please, do you have a clip, Tyler? Sorry if you don't. We should have provided that. We can play it next week if not. No clip. We are clipless. Please check it out. I liked it. I mean, I learned a lot. I knew a lot about, it's on Flow, Jeff Baxter. Check it out. It should be prominently on the homepage. But I knew a lot about Lee Kemp. I knew he was a 3-time NCAA champ who lost his freshman year by referee's decision. Caleb was aghast to learn that was even a possibility. And then I knew that he was probably going to be an Olympic champion in 1980 when it got canceled. So he's kind of like but there's a lot of stuff about Lee I did not know, did not realize. The Dan Gable dynamic.
Give me one.
Okay.
He beat Gable in that tournament.
He beat Gable.
He beat Gable like 3 years after he started wrestling, or 4 years.
Yes, Ben. He beat
started
him
wrestling
like
that far.
He didn't
It
start
was his
wrestling
freshman
until
or
he was a
sophomore
freshman.
year. Freshman in
Freshman?
high school, and he beat him sophomore year. So yeah, I guess four or five, something like that.
Yes,
So crazy.
that's nuts. You beat Gable. His mindset is really interesting. I think one you'll He was like it seemed like he sort of easily did not wrestle Dan Gable. He's like, all right, I'm wrestling this dude. He knew it was someone but like he had not built up Gable in a way that other people had. And I think that was wasn't wrestling the legend of Dan Gable. Then, another really interesting thing, Lee was adopted. He was named Darnell and called Darnell the first 5 years of his life. And then he got adopted and they changed his name to Leroy Lee. Crazy.
Yeah, didn't know that. That's crazy.
So yeah, the guy's had an incredible life, and certainly one of the best to ever do it, and a lot of trials.
Oh my
and tribulations.
goodness! You know what I just got? By email.
What'd you get?
This is awesome! Holy moly! I got from my guy at Quant Wrestling, Doug Wagner. He just emailed me an Excel file of top time versus turn attempts per minute.
Wow.
Of every, I believe it's of every college wrestler. Holy crap, this thing is like so big.
Every college wrestler, the whole season?
Oh wait, this is sorted by top time. Sorted by attempts per minute. Gabe Tag somehow has 20 attempts per minute. I don't know how that's even possible. Wow.
20, so every 2 seconds he's attempting a turn?
Turns by, that'd be every 3 seconds. Yeah, that one must be a malfunction because there's two that are, one's 20, one's 15, and then the rest of them are like 3.
Is this for the whole season or like a?
I think it's the whole season.
Who watched every match?
Like I believe they have an algorithm that runs it. So, but I mean, like there's only a couple that are above 2. So, like there might be a few mistakes here, but 2 would be 1 every 30 seconds, which is highly reasonable. So let's see who the lowest is. 20, I don't know. Yeah, it must be malfunction. Well, there's a whole bunch of people who've never attempted a turn. Oh my goodness, that's wild.
I've seen mini matches.
There's a whole bunch that got no turns attempted. Alex Marinelli's at 0.0. So I don't know how he got 0.0 and everyone else got that. We got a lot of people at 0.1, a whole stack of people at 0.1. Miles Amines at 0.1. Notable names here.
Well, he's been training to like leg lace people for the last 2 years, so I at least give
Aaron
him a
Brooks 0.1.
Yeah.
And you know what else? So, and then in the other column, you know what they have? This is wild. They have percentage of time that they're on top of the wrestling match. And so Aaron Brooks is on top 41% of the wrestling match. How wild is that? That's a lot of time.
He rides a long time too. It's like why?
And doesn't turn anyone.
And nor attempt.
Nor attempt to turn anyone. Let's see. Rocky Elam's only at 0.2, and he's on top 31% of the time.
Uh-oh. I didn't bring that up. Wick. I didn't bring up that stat. That was Ben. Just for the record.
Oh.
That was Rocky Elam.
Cam Amin. Greg Diakowalis. We need to sort this. Nick Soriano, 0.2, and he's on top 43% of the time. What a cool document. But there's just too many names. I'm at like number 720 right now. I got a long way of scrolling.
All right.
Deacon's only at 0.3 turns per minute, and he's on top 48% of the time. So.
All right. Well, if you like listening to Ben Ask and Read, we can.
You like listening to me read?
The show?
Hey, we get allocations today too, guys.
That's right.
Oh yeah, they're
stay locked into the site.
They always news dump us. The allocations. They wait for FRL to end and then they drop them. That's what they're doing.
Stay locked in. We'll have some content when they come out, probably this afternoon or evening.
All right. Stay tuned to the site for those. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Good luck to all those wrestling at the state championships.
Bring it home.
And the youth state championships.
Get you one of these.
Caleb, I love you no matter what happens, buddy.
But after it's all babies.
Everyone tell your kids you love them no matter how they do. It'll be okay if they don't win. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back Tuesday. Plenty to talk about. Thanks, Kozak. Thanks, JD. Thanks, Ben. Thanks especially to you for listening. We appreciate it. Have a good weekend and goodbye.